and welcome to the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. It is beer, metal, and swearing. I, of course, am Nick Cameron of Glacially Musical, the transmogrified blog that is now this. I am joined by the man who always makes me say, whoa, Keanu Chakas. How we doing today, buddy?
Whoa.
Woo.
Whoa. He is the greatest dude ever, though. Like, honestly, wouldn't you kid me? Love, like, go have dinner with him or something? He'd be amazing. Okay. You're amazing.
Thank you very much. How are you? That's good? I'm beer checking.
That's what Keanu would say. You're amazing.
All right, I'm going to pop it. I know I drink this particular beer frequently on the podcast, but it is my favorite beer. And this week, this beer is a gift. This was a Father's Day gift. They got me way too much, and I had a long Father's Day and a hard morning. But I thank them for that.
A hard Monday morning?
Actually, it was a Sunday morning because we celebrated Father's Day on Saturday because my present was an outdoor projection screen television.
Whoa. I didn't realize you had a backyard in your new abode.
Yes, it's a St. Louis City backyard, so it's about the size of my ass, which is the right size. Let's finger fudge this. What's your beer check?
Ass, finger fudge, beer check. I think I have not had this beer before. This is Mosaic Weekend Vibes IPA.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Coronado Brewing Company with a little weird mermaid and mermaid colors.
Genesee Brewing had in one of their variety packs a Mosaic Hopped America Pale Ale, which is like, it's an IPA, but they don't call it it. So, whatever. Cool. But it was a delicious, delicious beer.
Here comes the pop. Nope, that's not it.
Oh, clap for my man.
Since bringing out the glasses a month ago, I went back and traced this. All the pours have been caca, so let's see if I do any better today. They've just all been bad. This doesn't look much better.
Okay, once you get it up, we're going to compare the pours.
Yours is better.
Okay, so normally before we get to that, this is the Metallica normally bonus, semi-bonus episode of the Subscription Vinyl Club. If this is your first time with the Glacially Musical Pouredcast, thank you. You have made a wonderful choice. Hopefully you will agree with me for the next hour or so. This is an episode where we do a beer check. Normally there's no vinyl check, but my pile is growing and I got to start checking this shit. Or we're going to have an episode that is a vinyl check.
I mean, we've done that, so it can happen again.
Yeah, but I don't want to have that many. Anyway, not the point, because then I can't file them. So it's beer check, vinyl check, talk quickly about the news, then we get into the meat of the topic. If you don't want to hear chitter chatter, jibber jabber, skip ahead today about 15, 20 minutes. However, before we hit record, before I got in front of this microphone, before I started staring down this goddamn camera, the evil eyes that steal my soul, I watched episode 6 of the Obi-Wan series. I will say nothing other than my vinyl check this week is related. Here we have a repressing, a 1978 repressing of the Star Wars A New Hope soundtrack.
Amazing.
I was very excited until I discovered it does not have the Imperial March.
The Imperial March is officially on Empire Strikes Back.
And the Empire Strikes Back is a lot more expensive.
Duly noted. How much?
I wonder if it's because it has the greatest song in Star Wars.
I mean, it has the greatest song in Star Wars. It's arguably the greatest movie in Star Wars. It's far and away my favorite anything Star Wars. I will not spoil anything about Obi-Wan except to say series finale. I cried a little.
I will say this, and I will say only this about Obi-Wan. It's leaving me wanting more.
I think so. There's a lot of backlash. People did not like the show, and I don't understand.
Nobody hates Star Wars like Star Wars fans.
Nobody. Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's like, I don't understand what show they thought they were getting, but they were mistaken. I got the show I wanted all my life.
I'm gonna make the statement that most Star Wars fans don't love Star Wars. However, I'm one of the few Star Wars fans that love Star Wars.
Maybe
so
we
I also have
episode about how Star Wars has ruined Star Wars for Star Wars people. We've seen that before. Lovely.
No, that is No, this is the story of Star Wars.
Oh,
which is the as when we did the Monty Python series. Remember, we were talking about what things were back in the day, and back in the day, you didn't have VHS, you didn't have home movies, you didn't have streaming, of course. So what they did was they released audio books on vinyl.
Yeah, it's brilliant, actually.
So
I kind of still wish we had.
I have a few of them. We've got a couple of Disney ones as well that we found. These my wife found on Facebook Marketplace. She asked me if I wanted them, and I'm like, no, they were $40. We're trying to save some money. And then she texts me the next day, they're $30. I'm buying them. I married a good one.
You might have one of the good ones, my friend.
So that is my vinyl check for this week. And I've only listened to the soundtrack so far, and holy fuck. This is a PG-13 podcast, and we're on YouTube now. So that's my only one.
Swearing is in our name, which we didn't say. It's beer metal.
I said it.
Did you? I didn't think so.
This week I said it. Last week I didn't. But this week I did. Yeah. So it's a truly, truly amazing pressing on vinyl. And now that I have a copy, everybody go out and buy one. If I didn't have one, I would say don't, because you'd drive up the prices. I got these both. I got them for $15 each, basically.
That's pretty cool. Facebook Marketplace just seems like a less sketchy Facebook Craigslist, but I guess you can get some gems there.
But the good news is you get to see someone's face before you buy it.
Oh, that's fair.
So, you got a vinyl check, or are you going to pass this
I'm
week?
going to pass on the vinyl check, because this is a vinyl episode where we're going to actually strictly talk about a vinyl. So,
alrighty, you wanna get this rig rolling, or you want me to handle it this week?
I'm gonna let you handle it, because this is not my jam. Admittedly, I was
Fair
disappointed
enough.
The minute I opened the box. I was like,
Oh, you've already opened the box.
I had to open the box for the sanctity of time.
Okay, fair. I have not opened the box. Normally, the way this works is we open it together. So
I know I had to
Hey, it's fine. We also were not supposed to check to see what it was, but I accidentally did that. So this week, I will go ahead and just do the unboxing. Boom. Out the box. Here we have Metallica Saint Anger Rare and Live. Now let's see. Oh, good. Let me just. Oh, my number is.
Oh yeah.
6414. What you got?
I have 3,105. So I think we're inverted from where we were on the first one, where I had
no, the first one number. You were lower than me at that time as well.
Well, this is low. This is not. This is.
No,
higher.
You're lower. No, I'm 6414.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's alphabetical. I don't know. No, I mean, Shaq is after Cameron. I don't know.
Yeah, none of it makes sense. So pop it open.
Yeah.
We have a nice poster.
I do like the cover. I'm not gonna lie.
Now I will admit
messages.
I'll admit wholeheartedly, I'm the one dude in the world that's like, don't send a goddamn poster, because I'm not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, you could give them away. Maybe we could do a contest and give them away.
I'm not getting rid of it. Now we've got the liner notes. We have an Andy Warhol style version of the.
That is dope.
Totally badass.
I didn't hate I don't love this album, but I do like the artwork, and I didn't hate that they already changed the logo several times, so I didn't even hate this new version of the logo for this album. This is very pretty. It's very well, beautifully printed. Mm-hmm. It's almost got like a relief on it, and actually I really like this back sleeve. I don't know if people will appreciate this. Obviously not on the podcast. It's very, very cool.
We always tell people, like, subscribe, watch on YouTube.
Yeah, that's also good. It came in a Mylar. Normalize the Mylar.
Hang on. I haven't even gotten there yet.
Oh, all right then.
I pulled out the inner sleeve, which has no record in it. So we got some liner notes from Master Ulrich. I'm going to call him Master Ulrich because he's still only about 5'3". He still looks like he's 12.
You debated with me whether he was 5'8" or not last time. So, again, I met his sons at Bottle Rock, and they're enormously tall. He's not. Go ahead.
So, Saint Anger. That's right, people. Wanna? Yes, I know you wanna. I don't know whom you're speaking to, Lars.
He's talking to himself because he's still convinced this is a great album.
Coming out of the most uncertain time in the band's history, true, we all felt rejuvenated, lies. Reinvigorated, total lies. That's Sith level lies right there. After the turmoil we had gone through the previous couple years, In the wake of that vibe was an extra insular attitude, a few more notches on the throw it all to the wind belt, another level of fuck you attitude, which obviously resulted in the most unique and polarizing collection of songs we have ever shared with you all. Unique? All right.
Polarizing, definitely, and I'm gonna say
Not really. I don't think so.
There's a lot of people who hate this album, man.
Yeah, I know. Who likes it though?
A lot of people.
I don't think that's true. Anywho,
next year we'll know. It's the next year is the.
Next year's the what now?
They're gonna eat it up.
Next year's the. I'm sorry. I okay. But like anything we seem to have done over the years, there are believers, which definitely included ourselves. We kept playing the songs. No, you did not. Digging deeper and sharing them to the best of our ability in a live setting, over the subsequent year and a half. Here are a few of those deeper cuts. Strap in, turn it up, turn on the snare, and enjoy. Wanna? Fuck yeah, you do, Lars.
I'm gonna give him some credit for taking a shot at himself by saying "turn on the snare" because
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Biggest criticism of the album is the drum sound is abysmal, and
and
the second is the songwriting, and the third is the no guitar solos. But the fact that he dissed himself, so like this whole that little unintelligible blah 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 that you just recited, which I appreciate, is super like tons of braggadocio and
And then he punches himself in the dick.
Himself in the jimmy. There's an ancient word called megalophykia, like where you believe in your greatness unequivocally, which is Lars to the bone. And then he's turn on the snare and enjoy. It's like I'll give him some respect for that, man. I really will.
Gonna point out, as Keefy dropped the ball early or threw the pass early, it does come in a Mylar. It comes with a Mylar sleeve, which is anti-static. And it does come with an inner sleeve, which is what I was just reading from. So normalize sending your records in Mylar sleeves. Metallica has been really, really good about properly. And that is everything apart from my download code, which I'm not going to share for some reason.
I don't see it. Hold on. I want to make sure
Mine was on the back of the Mylar.
Oh, son of a bitch. That doesn't sound good to me at all. I don't think I have one. That's going to make me mad. Hold on. Oh, I got it.
Found it.
Fell out. It was in the actual sleeve.
Gotcha. So last time we got a felt turntable slip cover, which I have been using as a mouse pad.
Mine's right here. Like I too am using mine as a mouse pad.
Because you should never use a felt slip cover. That's just the reality of the situation.
I learned
this time we have gotten and in the I want to say in the black end, it was a paper sleeve with Mylar innards. So Metallica is definitely kicking ass on the packaging here. They are not just doing fancy pants packaging like, oh my god, it looks so good. But
did we open this all the way?
I did pop it up.
Pretty cool.
I didn't get a good look at it.
I'm not a huge fan. It's very nice packaging. We are getting our money's worth for what we paid.
Yeah, this was $25. It's basically $25 each quarter is what we're paying, and it's a bit pricey. Although the reason why I jumped in 2022 when I did not jump in 2021, even though the pricing is the same or really close to. In 2022, they went to 12-inch releases rather than 7-inch releases. So that way they could put as much as 45 minutes on a record, which they're not going to do. But my hope was that we would get longer tunes on each side rather than, say, both versions of I Disappear or, two rando short tunes live. Which I was looking back at the last year's collection, and there were two songs off of the Load tour that they put. It's like 2 4-minute, 5-minute tunes. Nothing spectacular, nothing terrible, but neither track was off of Load, and it was like Hell of a Load or something. And I'm like, you could have done. Would have been great is if you would put 2x4 there.
That's your jam.
It is my jam, and it's not been played that many times.
I have a gut feeling the next one is going to be Load and Reload, or thinking about the things that have never been on vinyl, Beyond Magnetic, which is the leftovers.
Nope. That's on vinyl.
Is it now?
Yes. It's $150 if you want to buy it on silver vinyl. I have not purchased it. No, I'm going to... Let's talk about our predictions at the end.
Okay. I also want to say, by the way, for those that don't know, we've spent a considerable amount of time talking about the original series. Metallica just put out their Walmart collab version 2 with all the later era albums.
Some eras
on colored exclusive limited edition vinyl at Walmart. I don't have a Walmart near me. The only one I really buy would be Garage Inc.
I gotta be honest with you. I am considering just buying that sumbitch and then selling off my black one, which is valuable.
That's a smart move, and then you can buy more vinyl. That's what we do.
Yeah, too much of it. That's besides the point. So let us talk about L track listing. So if there's anything off Saint Anger you would want live, what would it be?
Well, I got it. I heard Dirty Window, which is on here. Not a great song, but I heard it at the 40th anniversary shows. That was their pick off of Saint Anger, was Dirty Window and Frantic. And I don't hate it. I don't love this album. I don't love this album
either.
Connection. I have the least connection to this record of any Metallica record.
My favorite part about this release is
when I wing it out the window. No,
I know. Now I don't have to buy Saint Anger.
I don't have to. Literally.
It doesn't have my two favorite tracks off Saint Anger, which are Saint Anger and Frantic.
Saint Anger is just not a good song.
Okay, whatever. Frantic is a great song.
Frantic would be a great song if it was produced better, and when they play it live,
the song is great. The recording and production, it's basically cutting off your own dick. That's what these.
So these are all live, and that's cool. And looks like Texas, Japan, Australia, Chicago. So like a little bit of around the world for them, which they love doing.
Let's real quick. The first track is Sweet Amber, which, wow, if there was ever a song off Saint Anger I wanted to get a live version of, this is not it.
Yeah, James is particularly fond of this one.
They only played it one time.
But he likes this song, apparently.
This is the only time they ever played it live. One time. Excuse me. Then the next track, The Unnamed Feeling. All right, they played this one 17 times.
How do you have these numbers?
Well, because I cheated this time. While I was waiting for the meeting to show up, maybe I went to setlist.fm.
A trick I taught you.
No, this is a different trick.
Okay.
I knew setlist. I just didn't know how to work it properly.
Click on a song and it says number of times it's been played live, which isn't a completely accurate number. It should be close to accurate, but yeah.
Yeah. Now we flip it for side 2, which is Dirty Window.
It's okay. It's not.
Do me a favor. Sing a bar of Dirty Window.
I can't sing.
I don't know it.
Other than Frantic and Some Kind of Monster and Saint Anger, I know none of these, and I only know those because they were like on radio, and I would tune out mentally as soon as they came on. But
yeah, I if you had told me yesterday that Metallica had a song called Dirty Window, I would say no, they don't.
No, I know,
because I did not. So then we finish the sucker up with Some Kind of Monster.
Can you say it or sing it in the inflection of James just for effect?
Which one? Some kind of monster. That like
monster.
That? All right. Monster. Now here's what's interesting. They played this track 3 times. This time they played it at the Allstate Arena, home of the Chicago Wolves, who are presently, as we record this, playing against the Springfield Thunderbirds, the St. Louis Blues farm team.
What the ass? Are you talking about soccer in my presence? What are I have never heard of these teams.
The Chicago Wolves are the American Hockey League team. Oh. They're a former IHL team. They were also the Blues affiliate for 3 years.
Fine.
They are presently playing the Blues affiliate for the American Hockey League Championship.
Okay, good for them. Hockey's over for me.
Before that, they played it in Fort Wayne, Indiana, home of the Fort Wayne Comets, one of the oldest continuous running, never changing their names hockey teams. Went to one game there. And before that, they played the only other time they played this track at the Carver Arena in Peoria, Illinois. The Galatian Musical Pouredcast, as we say weekly, does not play in Peoria, but Metallica does.
And they play Some Kind of Monster when they do.
And when I saw this, I thought, oh my God, if this is the recording from Peoria, that is the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing ever.
The greatest tie-in unintentionally of all time.
But it's not.
Is it mean of me to say that I'm a little sad that Bob Rock has a writing credit on all 4 of these and he's going to get like shekels for this release? Like, it's not going to get played anywhere on radio or anything, but like, he's gotten paid for, again, he gets paid for this record for his co-writing credits, which is just embarrassing to me.
And we're going to talk about Bob Rock again because next week we're starting the Motley Crue series.
Yes, we are.
But
we're really going to talk about Bob Rock at the end of that. But yeah.
Yeah. But Bob Rock was an amazing producer and an amazing collaborator for Metallica until this album. And if for any questions about that, please see the depressing ass documentary, Some Kind of Monster.
I have never been able to. I've never listened to this entire. I've never listened to Saint Anger more than one time all the way through. I have never watched all of Some Kind of Monster. I end up turning it off. I know that Dave Mustaine breaks down and cries. I don't want to watch it.
He does.
I don't want to see it.
I don't.
I like the audition part. I've watched that many times.
Amazing! And there's an extended version of it in the deleted scenes.
Oh, that I'd kind of like to see, but I don't want to see the DVD to see it.
No, totally don't. No, it's not. There are a couple of guys that also tried out for Metallica that was interesting. Chris Wise, formerly of The Cult and Ace Frehley Band,
and
along with
his band Owl, which is quite good.
Not familiar. Along with Twiggy Ramirez, which I actually really liked his audition.
Good player, bad guy.
I don't know anything about that guy. I know other guys that know that guy.
Pepper Keenan, who probably should have been the pick, but Lars vetoed him out. Lars and James each had the right to refuse the other's selections. Scott Reeder of Caius and Queens of the Stone Age and Fireball Ministry also auditioned, and they did not pick him. He was quite good. I love Robert, and I think Robert's great, and I was a fan of Robert's before Metallica, but, there are definitely people I know who don't like him in Metallica.
I wish we could have gotten more of the, say, Infectious Grooves Robert.
Well, that style doesn't work with their writing. That's the problem. Lars is not a good enough drummer to play, hold down a groove like
Lars that. Is not a drummer. Lars is a rhythm guitar player. What he does is he plays along to James. Those two are a musical dyad. So you can insult Lars for not being the best drummer. He is not Neil Peart, whatever. He is not John Bonham. He doesn't have power. He is not Eric Carr. He doesn't have shortness and giant hair and too many drums. He does have too many drums. What Lars's talent is, he plays to James. And James it's like being able to play to John Lee Hooker, man. If you can play to that dude, it's going to be great. And that's what Lars does. Now, fair. Before we get into taking our break, which no one will notice while we listen to this collection, let us briefly discuss the first time we heard Saint Anger at all. What is your first memory of this record?
I think it was frantic, and I think it was immediately I noticed something was wrong. I like the key change. I like that they were playing in a lower key because I love the key of D and lower.
Were you tired of E?
I think James was tired of it. He can't sing in it. So, like, why keep butchering yourself and bothering yourself when you clearly, Sad But True is always the highlight of every Metallica show it's played in, almost. And, like, it's better for him. He's better off. He almost should be doing C sharp now. Like, he should go a step lower. He should go to Sepultura tuning now. I appreciate.
Well, I mean, it's only one half step down from where you're at anyway.
I appreciate that Metallica heard Slipknot, and Metallica heard System of a Down, Toxicity, and Metallica heard, Machine Head, and Metallica tried to take influences from other successful big bands, and they didn't do it right. Again, it's jarring. The songs are haphazardly pasted together because they were just like, again, to me, Saint Anger doesn't sound like a well-written song. It sounds like two things that don't belong smushed together because they needed to make it a song.
And I like it because of that, but
I hate it because of that. The songwriter in me, I hate to be pompous, but I hate it. Generally speaking,
don't be pompous.
Generally, pinkies out. Generally speaking, it's not totally without merit. Some of the songs are good. I'll at least admit that some of the songs are good. James's lyrics continue to get better on that album.
I think Frantic is probably lyrically my favorite Metallica song. Lyrically.
Fair enough. I think he did that lyric better the next album, but that's me.
The entire next album was rewriting Frantic 10 times.
Well, I don't have a problem with that.
And doing it better each time.
Yeah, for sure. And then, there's not much bass on that album because of Bob. Bob is just keeping it plain and vanilla.
Oh, Bob was awful at bass.
He's not a good bassist. You might as well have had James do it. And
should have. Well, if James had more than 2 hours a day, probably would have.
Right. I think it's 4, but you're not wrong. He definitely was constricted by time. So considering all these factors, considering they almost broke up, considering they lost Jason, considering Bob Rock, all the pluses that he brought to the band on
We're gone.
The Black Album and Load and Reload are far gone here. And Phil Toll and all these terrible things, the film crew swirling and all these things swirling around them, and James breaking down and relapsing and all these things.
It's amazing it's as good as it is.
It's amazing it's not worse. I think it's a better way to say it.
True.
As good as it is, I don't even want to say it's as good as it is. It's good it's not worse. It's grateful it's not worse. But I think, like...
It's bad.
I appreciate
it is
Lars
a bad
is
record.
Like, one of these days, everyone's going to see.
No, we're not.
One's going to see.
No
one thinks this is their best record or in their top 5 records. No
one thinks that.
No.
Nobody thinks it's in their top 10.
Matt Harvey of Exhumed.
Do they even have 10?
Yeah, of course. Matt Harvey of Exhumed thinks that Load and Reload are in the top 5 Metallica records ever. And that's Matt Harvey, who's a world-class guitarist and songwriter.
Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I said this during the Metallica series. When we did Load and Reload, the Road and Lee Road. Yeah, I'm going with that. Road and Lee Road episode.
How many beers did you have?
That's number 3.
Oh, right.
Don't judge me.
Right.
I had a hard day.
You had to wait for me, so.
Anyway, so when we did the Load and Reload episode, Load and Reload, if you take them, edit them, wiggity whack it, you have the greatest 60-minute Metallica record ever.
16?
60.
No. Oh, Load and Reload. Yeah.
Yeah. Probably. If you take those two, I'm going to go over it real quick. You take 2x4 because you have to.
We did this on a whole podcast.
All right, okay, I'll stop it. Anyway, the four long ones go there. Then you only need like 3 more. So my first dealings with this record were not this record. It was when they were at the VH1 Icons Awards. And that was, now keeping in mind, it's hard to explain to anybody listening to a podcast who's younger than 35 what the world was like in 2002. I remember seeing on the internet on hardradio.com, the oldest heavy metal internet radio station. I don't know if internet radio is still a thing anybody cares about, but it existed then. And I used to read hardradio.com when they updated their hard news on Tuesdays and Fridays. And every week, weekly, check it out. And it's still there. It's mostly YouTube videos now. And I remember saying that Jason Newsted quit Metallica. In these random, obvious press release quotes. And then for 2 years, we didn't know what was happening. Then all of a sudden, all news stopped. And it wasn't like James is in rehab. It was, we'll update you when it's time to update you. And there was nothing. It was radio silence. You didn't even used to get tour updates back in the day. And so there was basically a 4-year period where it was going, what is going on in Metallica? Because
Which was unusual because they were the masters of spin and self-promotion for the longest
time. At this point in time, the longest they had gone between releases was 2 years.
Yeah. I don't want to insult, well, not counting the Black Album and Load because they toured, 3 of those, 3.5 years and then made an album for a year. But I would say, like, one thing that Metallica lost, and I have to double check the year it closed, my favorite rock and metal magazine growing up was Rip.
Mm-hmm.
I love Metal Maniacs. I love Decibel. I love I love
Terrorizer. It was Circus for me, but
Circus is great. Cream, I remember from being a little kid, my brother had Cream and Kiss on the cover. But Rip is the magazine I bought every month and read in the pre-internet days. And Rip basically was a de facto PR arm for Metallica and GNR and bands like that, the biggest bands, because they loved the editor-in-chief, Lon Friend.
Mm-hmm.
Still out there.
Oh, yeah.
Still out there.
Lon Friend, also all over a year and a half in life of Metallica.
All over it. And
with porn.
Yes. And he, he was huge in helping them become huge. Him and Rolling Stone and, David Frick and people like that. And legitimizing thrash metal, if you will. You can argue about that. But, Rip went out of business, and Metallica didn't have Rip anymore, just tooting their horn. Now, they didn't need it anymore because, 10 years after the Black Album, still a huge deal. I don't even think they celebrated the 10 years after the Black Album because they were on, tour and on a break. Or whatever.
No, they were on break. James was in rehab then.
Okay. So, a lot of problems.
Lots of problems. As to be expected.
Yeah, it's a wonder they got this record. So, on one hand, I do not enjoy it. I will not won't apologize for it. Oh, look at this cool image on the download card front. The front, don't show the back, but the front. It's pretty neat. Just like the front cover. So, and Pusshead did the art, which I gotta say, I kind of like. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like a little bit of 2 or 3 eras of Metallica with the fists, the skull, and the shuriken over the globe. That's kind of fun.
All the business.
All the business. All the things. We don't know what we are. That's exactly what this record is. What are we?
Correct. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to finish my story.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So they play Frantic before this medley of Metallica tracks, right? And I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is the greatest Metallica song I've heard in forever. It was live. So then I was walking in Crestwood Mall, which was across the street from my apartment at the time. And oh my God, Sam Goody broke Street Date. And there it was. And I took it and I went home and I put it in my Sony 400 disc changer and hit play.
400.
And holy shit, it was bad. It was awful. The way they record. I mean, there is nothing about this album except riffs and some good lyrics. Not always good riffs, not always good lyrics, because it was a double record as Metallica does now. And I would say vast majority of this was shit. So, but the live renditions, it came with a DVD of Robert Trujillo playing the entire album front to back with them.
Like a playthrough video, which was rare at the time.
Which wasn't a thing at the time. And that sounded 20 times better. So I'm excited to listen to this. So if you're ready, I am ready to put this on the table, listen to this thing, talk about it, and finish this stuff up. You ready?
I'm ready. And I'm going to finish eating my Greek wrap while we do that.
I will talk to you in 20 minutes. Hit pause.
All right, then.
Pause. When last you heard us, we had never heard Metallica, Saint Anger, Live, Rarities. We have been Reboard. In fact, we have heard these 4 tracks and okay. What do you think, buddy? 1 out of 10 for the 4 tracks. Let's start there.
Each one or all together?
All together as a 4-track set.
Live, it sounds better than the record.
It does. However, live James sounds terrible here.
I don't know about terrible. I think
I do.
Track to track, he doesn't sound too great. They played great. They sound very heavy. Sweet Amber has a great riff, as I said. Unnamed Feeling, don't care for the song. Dirty Window is like I like the track because it's like when old guys think they're playing punk rock, but that's what they think it is. They think they're being punk. It's to them. And again, Some Kind of Monster. Even the crowd didn't sing along. This song is better when everyone sings along with it. Not
well. In fairness, it was probably a soundboard.
Oh, it surely is a soundboard recording. Yeah.
So when it's a soundboard recording, you can't hear the audience as well.
Right.
Because there's no audience recording. So,
but they have done tons of albums where they.
Yeah, it's really cool that we have Sweet Amber, the one recorded time for certain the Metallica's ever played this tune. We have that. Song is not spectacular. It's also on the back 9 of quality on Metallica's worst record.
Well,
I would also say the same thing about Dirty Window.
Okay.
We're talking about back half of quality on Metallica's worst record.
I think it's in the middle, but all right.
You know what? We can argue how far into the back 9, but
right. I don't really know the record good enough to qualify it against more than 3 other songs. So
I did know all the lyrics that came through my headphones. I was rocking my 1975 cans, so I wouldn't bother my family. I mean, for me, if I'm gonna go 1 out of 10 on this, of course, 10 being perfection, 1 being bullshit, 5 being mediocrity. I'd go 6.5, maybe 7.
I would say 6. And I would say this: there's probably, again, there's an audience for everything. There's probably a Metallica fan that came of age at the time of, that loves this and loves I Disappear and loves, doesn't care about the sound quality of this record or the next, and they love these records and they will love this. I don't mind it.
Okay, I'm going to say it one more time. On vinyl, Death Magnetic sounds 20 times beher.
I'll have to check that out. Maybe that's the Walmart one I'll have to buy and not garage.
Yeah, totally.
I'd say this. I enjoyed this. I did not enjoy it. It wasn't unenjoyable, and I appreciate having kind of this cool, rare thing, and it was beautifully packaged. Mm-hmm. I would always prefer something else than this record, for sure, or Lulu. No, thank you. Please take it back and don't give it back to me. And, again, solid, a 6. We gave, I think, the last one I said an 8, and you were ready to give it a 9 on that first one. So.
Yeah, I was really happy with the Blackened record.
Yeah.
Because I thought they gave us the reimagining, which is really cool.
Which I like.
Then they gave us the I'm sorry?
I didn't need 2 versions of that reimagining. Could have had another track or something else.
Agreed, but the version of Wood they did was truly amazing. And that was a great Metallica kind of moment because we had Metallica covering Metallica, and then we had a truly amazing Metallica cover, which Metallica's covers are top notch.
Some of the best ever. Again, how Whiskey in the Jar is better known now as a Metallica song than Thin Lizzy makes me sad, but what do you want?
I can tell you why. It's Metallica. They play stadiums in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't play stadiums in the Midwest if you're no one.
Yeah, of course. So that being said, this is pretty great. Not the music, but like in general, as part of the 2 of the 4. I like it. I don't love it. I certainly don't hate it. The packaging is like a 7 or an 8, and the record itself
packaging
is
a good 9. It's okay. I gotta be honest. It's not. It has a sleeve and a mylar
and a poster, and you don't even
and
like
a poster.
It's a very nice poster.
And a download.
I don't know that I would put this. Well, I mean, I'm going to say this. I expect a download code now with every record.
Well,
at this point, if you don't give me a download code,
you should get one, but it's not as common as it should be.
If you don't give me one, that's kind of like that's the least you can do if I bought the record for $35 to $50.
I agree. But however, Alive Natural Sound, one of my favorite labels. Look at you assholes. I said it.
Ouch.
I said it. So,
what
I did note one. It's nice to listen to these songs with Robert Trujillo playing bass.
Yeah, like the performances are not bad. Like you said, James was terrible, but I think musically it held up. Having
a bass player there makes the bass lines. Yeah. Two, Lars has the snare drum on, as he pointed out. It doesn't sound like somebody, whacking their dick on a trash can.
Right, turn that snare on.
The snare drum on Saint Anger sounds like Lars has two giant porno dicks.
It's dumb.
Beating a trash can.
I know why they did it. It was a dumb idea. It did not work for them.
No, it didn't. It didn't work. And Metallica's never sounded contrived during all of, even in the Black Album, which I would call a sellout record. It didn't sound contrived. It sounded like they meant it. When they went to that new metal snare, it didn't sound like they meant it.
That was exactly, it was the new metal and also the D beat, which wasn't a popular thing then, but it was an underground thing. So somebody got in their ear, and it wasn't Bob Rock, but somebody who had the attention of Lars or the attention of, James, said to them, like, yeah, there's this like movement of music coming out of Europe where it's super lo-fi and punk and raw, and you should check this. It's not black metal, but it's very raw, and you should check it out. Gordon Ramsay memes before they were memes. And they listened, and they should not have, because it does not suit them musically to make this kind of music. That being said, these songs are much better live than my memory of the record, which again is faint because I have barely listened to Saint Anger.
Look, I
protest.
And like with
disgust.
Like with Pink Floyd, one of my favorite bands, possibly my favorite. I don't know.
My favorite.
I have everything they've ever released except for Endless River on vinyl.
It's terrible. Should never put it out.
Metallica. I have all of their records, several live albums.
Except Saint Anger.
And you know what I'm not going to buy? Saint Anger. Even though it's got that cool Walmart color.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what?
They did like the fist-inspired color.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, you know what? That is a quarter of an inch on the shelf that's better used anywhere else.
Anything.
Anywhere
Lawrence
else.
Welk. Anything.
I have Lawrence Welk,
I
actually.
know you do. That's horrible. Anyway, I'm also going to mention...
It was a quarter.
This cut of the album, the vinyl cut, I feel is superior to what I got on the first one. Didn't affect the sound at all, as you like to say. But personally, if they're pressing it themselves and it's only one of however many thousands,
I would assume 10.
I want not a piece of shit cut.
Agreed. It's a great cut.
I got a very crummy cut the last time you did, and I did. Got a very bad one. This one looks really good.
I have not cleaned it because, as you saw me open it, and I don't know that it requires a clean. They package it in the Mylar sleeve, so it does not come. One of the things about cleaning a record, a brand new record, is it gets rid of the static. And because it was in the Mylar, it's in an anti-static sleeve, so there's no static. It is perfectly clean. There is not a speck of dust on the sumbitch. I mean, I'm probably not going to clean it because I'm lazy now. And no, it's a great cut. It's a great pressing, perfectly flat, no bumps, no bruises, no warps. This is, if you're going to do a subscription club and charge me $6 for the unnamed feeling, which they did, and 25 cents, this is the way to do it. And one of the things I love about Metallica is their refusal to admit something they did was poor. And Saint Anger is poor. Everybody agrees, but Lars and James. I don't think
James loves this record. They don't do it a lot, and he even makes fun about it. He makes fun of
They
the record.
did play a couple of these tracks on the current tour. So they're bringing it back. Maybe they're trying to.
I'm telling you, next year is the 20, and they're gonna do it. They're gonna do a
next
whole year of it. Whatever they do, they're gonna do that, and a new record, obviously. So they're gonna break it up.
Look, if they're gonna play Saint Anger next year can eat my ass.
Well, and they will also have a new record. So like,
all right, and then eat its own butt.
Well, they're gonna goose you because they're gonna be like, come out and see us play our brand new 4 or 5 songs that we're really excited about, and probably 2 of them will be great, and the rest will be meh. And then here's Saint Anger. Which again, if it was just those 3 or 4,
I'll still go. I mean, I'm gonna go. But I also did notice on side 2, Kirk had a solo. Did you notice?
Sort of, yeah.
No, he had a legit. There was a like that chordy thing that everybody did in 2002, 2003. But he actually had a good solo afterwards. They let him play one. So
seemed low in the mix then because it didn't stand out to me.
It stood out to me, but I also had cans on, so if I'm Saint Anger literally is my least favorite record. I mean, it's not even close. And I mean, I bought the Black album. I said I never would. It was $20. I don't think I would drop $20 on Saint Anger. It's got to be like in the 5-ish range.
I don't even want it as a present.
Same, totally same. No one send it to me. Seriously.
My mother used to say. My mother was a notorious gift critic. And if she got a gift that she thought was poor, not about the money spent or whatever, but the thought that went into the gift. If it's the thought that counts, why weren't you thinking?
Touche.
She repeatedly said this to people. It's the same thing. Please don't give me this.
I'm gonna say, love the artwork, love the packaging, love that it came in a Mylar sleeve, love that you're trying still 20 years later to jam Saint Anger down someone's throat. However, I'm punching you in the dick because it's not good. On a Metallica scale, it's about a 7.5, 8, because they're like, fuck you. This is what we did. However, I probably will listen to this more than Blackened, which pisses me off.
No, I think this is going in the shelf, and I doubt I'll listen to it again unless some Metallica fan comes over and wants to hear it, in which case, okay, but I don't want to.
That's fair.
If you enjoyed the vibe of this podcast, stay tuned, because there's going to be a lot of this harumphing and guffawing and complaining and fetching and felling, because the Motley Crue is peaks and valleys, and the peaks are mad high, and I give respect, and the valleys are abysmal. Mariana's Trench level, terrible.
Starting next week, fetch is going to happen. We are going to make fetch happen because it's going to be that awful at times. But so let's real quick, because I only got a couple of minutes left before I have to get the hell out of my house. What do you think is on number 3 this year?
Load and Reload.
Really?
And
they're
Beyond
going to go
Magnetic.
backwards.
They're going to go backwards. They started with Blackened, just makes sense. It was the anniversary. That's what their vibe was all the last year and a half, plus the 40. I think I would love to get some. I would love to get some 80s stuff. I would love to get some like rando, covers, live covers with Cliff. Like, I haven't really done anything with Cliff yet for us this year. So like, I'd like to get now. Last year. I didn't follow what they did last year. You're saying they didn't. I would love to get like some Ride the Lightning era Cliff live stuff, live Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, live Orion, live Call of Cthulhu. Agreed. I'm
going to say it. The next Metallica Subscription Club, number 3, 2022. Lulu.
Oh God, please don't.
We're going to get 2 tracks. I am going to
punish you so bad if they give us a Lulu leftovers or something. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is...
No, not leftovers.
Something
there are 4 tracks.
From the Hall of Fame?
That were recorded live in Europe.
Oh, God.
We're going to get 2. I'm going to say we're going to get 2.
I wouldn't mind getting the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for Lou, where Metallica backed up Lou.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That would be damn cool, because they played like Sweet Jane and
Heroin.
Those would be, I'd like to hear those. Here's another wild card if they really want to punish us, because Lars is that kind of dude. How about just rando Kirk and Rob doodles and jams throughout the years?
If you were here, I would be flicking you in the nose. No. Okay.
You flick too hard.
No. Okay, so that is all I have for this week. You got anything else that you need to say?
Really? No.
All right. I am going to thank everyone for listening. If you have made it this far, you are a king. You are awesome. You are better than Saint Anger because, well, I mean, frankly, most of us are. It's a very low bar, but I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you had a drink with us. Listen to some Metallica. Hopefully we made you want to listen to Saint Anger and you realized better of it and you put on Ride the Lightning. With that being said, I am Nik Cameron, as always, joined by Keefy Chakas of Ghost Cult Mag. Check him out for brand new news. Check me out for vinyl porn. As we say, this is the Glacially Musical Pouredcast. It doesn't play in Peoria.
But Metallica does.
But Metallica does.